girl said, "You want to do a podcast?" And I said, "What's a podcast?"
Yeah, it's almost
I
verbatim.
just found out what it was when I had to do the rocking the chain. But I just did a voice. I just talked.
That's all you do.
No, I just talked on the phone and they did it. I didn't have to do this. Like, so.
Oh, well, now you get to see your
Yeah.
face when you get to talk.
Yeah.
So.
There we go. Welcome to the Road Killjoy Show. Hooray! Welcome to the Road Killjoys podcast. My name is Laurel. Then we have Mark Roadkill on the other end of co-host. Today we have Brian and Melanie. Welcome to the show, guys. How did I do? Did I do all right?
Yes, glad to be here.
Glad to have you guys.
Yes,
Oh, what a...
Certified badass.
There we go.
yes.
I'll take that.
So, if you guys have checked out the show before, you know we talk mostly about like music, but we've opened it up to other entertainment. We've had comedians on here, we've had magicians, we've had full bands, we've had solo artists, and we've had even people that don't really have much to do with music is on the show as well. We've had some community members on the show and things as well. But you are in music. You do some vocals, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about that. What got you into doing vocals, and what made you want to do it?
I'm going to make a long story as short as I can, but
Okay.
believe it or not, I was about 9 years old, and my mom had me singing Dolly Parton songs in the living room
Oh, okay.
when I was in Wisconsin. So that's about where it started. And my mom just like force fed me with music. And back in the day, we didn't have to have seatbelts. You could ride in your station wagon with the panels and the rock back and forth with no seatbelt.
In a steel dash.
Sing songs. Yeah, sing songs all down the road with your
Bill's
mom.
character.
Yeah.
And that's
was
about where it
Scar.
started. So I got to say it started with my mom.
Oh, there you
And
go.
then,
I like that.
and I just kind of,
So was your mom into music, or did she just always
Big
want to have
time.
music in the house?
no, big time.
She's a
My
singer
whole
too.
family was, oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not just because she's my mom, but she was a badass.
That's awesome.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's dig a little deeper. Where at in Wisconsin?
Kenosha, Paddock Lake, Wisconsin.
Okay. I know where Kenosha is.
Where's that
Yeah.
from Rhinelander?
I couldn't tell you, sir.
I don't even
Okay,
know where
where's that at?
Rhinelander
If
is.
like it's not,
About 2 hours from Green Bay.
Okay,
So we'll take that. So, you know, since
we just had a phone theft happen.
I don't think Zach left his in here.
I'm just from Polk County my whole life, so I don't know anything about
But
this.
I did move here when I was 9, so I've been here most of my life.
What brought you all the way down here from
Oh, you're
Kenosha?
local.
Well, I guess my parents, I didn't have no say so at 9.
Well,
So
but what brought them down here?
I guess they
Job
were
or-
tired of snow.
I mean, that's fair.
So
It's colder than hell up there.
Yeah, they got tired of snow. So
You're
yeah,
not kidding. 9 months out of the year, it's below
Yeah.
zero. So,
yeah. So, but best move that was ever made, I guess. You know.
hey, fair enough.
But
You're a Florida boy now.
oh yeah, but I did move to the mountains for about 5.5, 6 years.
Whereabouts?
Blairsville, Georgia, Murphy,
Okay.
North Carolina,
Gotcha. We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
and then
As soon as I
Came-
asked that, I went, oh, wait, he did say Blairsville.
yeah, nah, that's cool. But then obviously I came back and got married
There you go.
to this beautiful woman beside me.
So how- all right, so that's segues to the next story, and I'll get her side of this first, and then we'll let you rebuttal. How
Yes,
did
sir.
you two meet? You said you're born and raised local here.
Yes.
So how'd you get a guy from Kenosha and Blairsville, Georgia, to come back down here to Polk County? How'd you meet this guy?
Well, actually, Melissa from Second Sadie invited me out one night to Old Man Frank's.
Okay.
They were doing a show. I always take pictures of all the local bands around, and I actually seen him singing, and I had already known Brian for a while, but I didn't know he sang. So I saw him, and I was like, "Oh, he sings!" So that's how we met that night at Old Man Frank's, and went from there.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Got a thing for singers. Okay.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I would have pictured as you being a hairdresser and he had to come in to have that beard worked on.
Well, the beard had to
so-
grow on me a little bit. I wasn't sure about the beard.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about
Are you
the
sure of
beard.
it now?
Yeah.
There you go.
Look, speaking from personal experience, you gotta start growing something when you don't have this anymore. So I don't know if that's your situation. I don't know
I'm gonna
if that's
sew
your
it.
situation. There you go. Hey, there you go.
Yeah. We're matching.
We look like a couple of testicles. I love it.
That's just nuts.
That's only if they're shaved.
Almost fell out of my damn seat. We're back. We're back. Oh my gosh. What were we talking about?
Testicles is the last thing that came
right.
out. But
Right. A couple of hairy nuts down here on the
But
end.
Hey.
Brian, you're also a Mason.
Yes.
You,
I've been doing masonry since I was 19 years old. So I do
I see
block.
stuff on Facebook, and I'm buttering up because I can't do that shit. It's one of the only trades I can say I've tried and failed. I tried to make a doghouse once out of block, and my God, it was terrible.
It takes practice.
Yeah, I broke it. It tore it down.
But
It was that bad. It was.
But no, I
horrible.
just honestly I'd started doing masonry as like a common labor, saying, hey, I'm just gonna do this till I find something else. And I've stayed with it. So it went from block to brick to stone to some concrete here and there, and actually got my own thing going now. So
Well, it looks like you put the same love into your work that I did when I had my welding company. It's like I loved welding, I loved creating, and it was very, very important to me to do it.
Well, it's the artistic
Best job.
expression.
what it is, it's like you work with your hands and you got something to show for it later.
Yeah,
It's like I did that. It's accomplishment, So
I think that's
it's
something
just-
a lot of people can relate to, for
Yeah.
sure.
has a lot to do with it.
I'm
Something
sure
you
Melanie
show
can
for it.
relate with doing like, especially when you get like a big job, and like say someone's got a specific hairdo they want to do, and maybe their
I was
hair.
about to say I work with my hands too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You work
that's
with your
why
hands as
we
well.
work well together.
There you go.
Yeah.
But so masonry, I have to admit, that's something I don't know a lot about. I know a little bit about welding. I grew up in a white collar family. My parents were Air Force, so I grew up around fighter jets and stuff all my life.
Cool.
But which was fun. But I just never really got into the mechanic or even much of the trade works myself. It just never lined up for me in my life path. But I always found an appreciation for it. I learned a little bit of woodworking. I learned a little bit of like general maintenance around. I've built a couple houses, or I've helped build a couple houses. I'll be realistic.
Oh, hey.
But and I've learned a little bit. But I masonry is one of those things that I just never really had. I never really was able to connect with it. Not because I couldn't, but it's just there was never an opportunity to connect with it. So I never really got
Right.
to learn much about it.
Right.
But I'll love to pick your brain later. But I'm going to waste the whole
Yeah.
episode talking
Oh,
about
no,
how it
absolutely.
works.
Absolutely. I'm cool with that.
I find it fascinating.
it's
I love
like
swiping
any
through.
trade. With enough practice, you get good.
Well, it's like an art form. I remember like learning like in wood crafting. Like it's something that it's just anybody can do it. It just takes time and practice, and then a clear goal as to what you want to be able to achieve to carve no pun intended, but kind of carve your way towards that goal, because there's so many different directions you can go with trade in any facet of it, that you have to make sure that you have that goal ahead so you can keep on that path. Because as I do videography and photography, the one piece of advice I always got with those things is whatever style of photography you take first that people start to recognize you for, that's what you're stuck doing forever. It doesn't matter if you want to do portraits. If you become popular because of your landscape shooting, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
not
that's
going to
true.
do portraits. And I imagine it's kind of the same thing with trades. It's welding, as with masonry. It's whatever you start doing and whatever you get.
I just quit and do something else.
No, you're kind
I said fuck welding. I started. building homes.
of putting that category of
Yeah.
until people see other things and they're like, oh, this individual can do other things, or but
Well, now we're kind of tapping into marketing. Like you can do, I mean, I do lots of things besides just video and photography, but that's what everybody around here knows me for, because that's what I put out there. And that's
Absolutely.
fine. Most people don't know that I can play music, that I can do audio engineering, that I'm a scuba instructor. I was at one point one of the highest ranked scuba instructors in all of Hawaii for a while. And, but you wouldn't know that because you don't know me as that. And that's totally fair. Like that's just what I've marketed myself as, is videography and photography.
that's super cool.
But so let's transition over there, because I've heard some really cool things about you. And
I'm
some
sure you
of the
have.
things you've been. Why'd you give me that
I'm
look?
sure you have.
She's just like,
He got real tense there for a second.
it's like, well, who
I
did
backed
you
up.
hear?
I backed up.
I'm married too. Okay.
I said
But-
I do.
So I I want to make sure I'm quoting this correctly. I have been told that you are the reason that 90% of the bars and restaurants in all of Polk County have
AEDs.
AEDs. Thank you.
Yes.
AED machines in them.
Yes, I'm actually going to be putting number 63 AED out tomorrow night at X City in Lake Wells.
Can I just fantastic stuff like that is
Thank you.
absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for that service. That is a big deal.
Yeah.
Part of being a scuba instructor, so tying this in, is you have to be a certified first aid instructor as well.
Yes.
So I've taught a lot of first aid courses specifically on AED machines as well. And it blows your mind when you go to even big cities, and part of the training is being aware where they are in buildings. It's like knowing where the exits are.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk into buildings and you find out they don't even have a first aid kit, much less an AED.
That's exactly what I look for now in every building I walk into. That's the first thing I do is I look around to see. So
what inspired that movement?
In 2020, I lost my late fiance then. I was engaged and I walked in and found him face down. He was age 41 and I did all I could to save him and I couldn't save him. And I did not know CPR. And I went into trauma. And then part of my grieving, I still went through what would have been our wedding day. And I chose to just honor his name. And I took on his last name. And then I decided to start raising money to put out defibrillators and AEDs to save somebody's life because I couldn't save him. So that's what did it. It was a way to help my grieving process. So I started raising money all over the community. I'm in at least 22 different committees all over Winter Haven. And so I started, one thing I'm good at is raising money. So I thought, okay, I'll go out there and start raising money to do this.
Yeah.
And kind of people thought I was crazy, but I really didn't care. And
I mean, to be
I'm
fair,
4'11", but I'm dynamite.
Everybody thought Edison was crazy too.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. So I started raising money and I did like a fishing tournament and a walkathon and a pool tournament. I did all these. It took me about 6 months and I raised my money to get the first 2 out.
What was that? What was that bar?
The first one I put out was Old Man Frank's because he was a security guard there.
Okay.
So I wanted the very first one to be there to honor him. And then I put one at my hair salon because I thought, if I go down, I need it to save me.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah. So, and it went from there. And then here I am. And then in last year in September, I finally was reached out by Bay News 9.
Okay.
And they heard about the story and they did a story on me. And then Tampa Bay Lightning and Advent Health reached out to me. And then that's what kind of went from number 20 to actually number 63 right now.
That's, I mean, again,
astounding.
Beautiful accomplishment. Like, wow. That is,
we're going to need one here soon because I've actually had the heart condition for years. So
I just found that.
I heard something about that too. And I was I was very surprised. No.
Okay, behind the scenes, Connie's out there talking shit. And
that's marriage.
Yeah. And I will be, when I met Brian, he had new Culpepper.
Okay.
And he was totally 100% supportive right off the bat. Because it takes a lot to stand beside somebody through all that it takes to pull this together.
Yeah.
And he has 100% stood by me through everything.
Well, I've done a couple of very, very small fundraisers for things like beach cleanups, and the amount of work and I don't want to say obsession, but demand that kind of a thing takes is a lot. And to do that on such a big and much far, like beaches are important. I'm not trying to say that they're not, but on such a big and deeply personal issue like this, I mean, that's gotta be, that sounds like a mountain.
It is a lot of work and a lot of dedication.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for.
Dedication, yes, it's a lot of dedication, and I was not going to give up. I had people in the beginning was like, "Oh, she's going to do a couple, and it's going to be, and I'm like, no, I'm going to make this. I'm going to keep going. Yes, yes, and it's just amazing feeling. So I, opened up the Culpepper Cardiac Foundation, and when I did that, I said, I'm going to keep on until one day I want to have them on every corner because that every corner can save somebody's life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's tomorrow? Number what?
63.
And we've been together since number 7.
Yeah.
Wow.
He got with me in my 7th one.
So I've been with her for a
Lucky
little
And,
number 7.
Yeah. Lucky. And that's my
That's your lucky number, literally.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
my favorite number.
Yeah.
It's a good number.
Yeah.
You get 3 in a row, it's 21
Yeah.
blackjack.
Hey,
You know, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Mark's got his priorities.
That's it. That's what I'm
I was
talking
at a
about.
casino one night and I was at a table that did that, so it had 777s. If you got 3 7s and hit 21, it paid like, $1,000 plus the pot plus,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
Good
and I hit
stuff.
it twice.
Oh.
Boom.
Boom.
Not just once,
Boom.
but twice.
So yeah, 7's a good number. 3
Yes,
times
sir.
in a row.
Yes,
Nothing
sir.
wrong with that at all. So let's step out of the realm of the serious. Let's talk more about you. So let's talk about the hair salon.
Yes.
Is that something that was like a passion of yours growing up, or what got you into doing that?
Yeah. I was like, I got pregnant really young in my life.
Okay.
Had my first child at 17. And I went straight to hair school and thought, I want to do something to try to support us. And because I just knew I would have to take care of my family.
Yeah.
So I ended up losing my first husband way back. And anyway, it was a way to help take care of me and my kids. So that's what got me into it. So at the age of 19, I started doing hair.
Okay.
And here I am now, 35 years doing hair.
Did you just make a pun in there? Did you say, and here I am now? Did I hear that right?
Did you get it?
I'm here for it. I love the dad jokes. Bring it on.
I was waiting for her to say, I love the hair.
I was like, hold on. I want to
love
make
the
sure I
smell of
heard that right.
hairspray.
Here
'Cause
I am now.
I didn't want to jump into it going like, hi, you made a joke, and then I heard you wrong. So I wanted to make sure I clarified that before I died into that joke.
That's
Ain't
right.
that the hair to dog?
Or the
Yeah.
smell of perms. The smell of perms are intoxicating.
Yes.
Are they?
My grandmother was a beautician,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
and my mother. So yeah,
I didn't know they
nothing
were
smells worse
intoxicating.
than a damn
I
perm.
will
Perms
own up
are-
to it. When I was in high school, I had hair down about here, and I have really curly hair. I'm like 20%.
Oh, you got a perm?
I'm 20% Native Hawaiian, so all that Polynesian root comes through my hair, and Italian. So I got this really dark curly hair. At least I used to.
Now it's turning red. It'll be gray soon.
It's already
Yeah, you've
some
got
grays coming
kids.
through. But no, it my hair. I put it through the ringer because no one ever really educated me on how to take care of it. So I didn't like the curls. I always loved like the 80s, very feathery hair. So I was like, I'm gonna go get mine relaxed and get it straightened out. And then I lost a bet in high school and had to bleach it platinum blonde for a whole school year.
So you
And
look
so
like
that-
Andy Gibb.
I got accused of a lot of things in high school. I'll say that. But I wasn't allowed to cut it until the end of the school year. So when I finally did, I had frosted tips by the end of it. So I went from looking like a blonde Gallagher to looking like a Backstreet Boy.
Yeah.
It was a terrible time. But I never took care of it, and all the damage I did to it, my hairline said, "Fine, we quit and left."
Done.
We quit.
Yeah. So now I shave my head now, so I don't look like Captain Picard from Star Trek anymore. But
Or
and then-
Gallagher.
yeah. So I just slid the hairdo down here now.
That's it.
But I forgot where I was going with this. But I'm a doctor. And my biological mother, I recently got in touch with her a couple years ago. She was a hairdresser for years, and she did that after getting out of the military, just because it looked like something that was fun, that she could enjoy for a
It
job.
is fun.
And it's very personable. She's a very people person, much like I am. It's crazy how much we're alike, considering we didn't know each other for 30 years. But
And my daughter works with me as well. So
There
I
you
get
go.
to be with her. And yeah,
there you go.
she's working at the hair salon with me. So we just have a good time.
That's exactly what I was going to segue
Yeah.
into. Is I'm not going to work with hair.
But I love making people look good and feel good.
Yeah.
And it just all goes, and we have a good group of girls and we just have fun and listen to music all day.
Yeah.
While we cut hair.
We were talking about this at Mardi Gras. You were talking about wanting to do a photo shoot that's
Yes.
kind of, I want to say, make sure I quote you correctly. You said you kind of want to do like the mafia boss
I
kind of
do.
look. Yeah.
I do.
I think we should do that. I think
Yes.
it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I want you to get in contact with me about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You reach out to me when you're available. I'm
I want
flexible.
I had one done a while back and I want to do a new updated one.
Okay.
And I like that whole kind of vibe with that. I'm sitting in a chair, hold my cigar.
So to tie this in real quick, I noticed the ink work. Did you have any ink as well?
A little bit.
A little bit. My brother's a tattoo artist out in Colorado. He is fixing to take over his tattoo shop and is He's a phenomenal artist. He's booked out months in advance, but he kind of has a similar vibe with his tattoo shop and his tattoo work. It's very, he did a self-portrait, this big, like, Christoph, if I'm misquoting this, I want to say it was like a 5 foot by 8 foot painting he did of himself, like sitting in this chair with like the sunglasses and like the cigar and the cat in his lap. And I was like, exactly what I'm picturing what you're talking here.
Call me the madam.
There, exactly. There you go, madam. Instead of Melissa. Yeah. I'm digging myself out of a hole here, folks.
You got a spade or a shovel?
I'm just picturing the flapper girls, the cigarette.
I'm imagining you got a pickaxe. Or a chisel.
Something like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I just threw myself off big time. So, but you guys have been a big part of the community around here for a long time. Mostly, not just because of the AED machines, but the salon, the masonry work. And I've been hearing you guys you guys have been popping up on my here's someone you might know list on Facebook for
you should
months.
Send that request.
I was going to, but I was like, I don't actually know them, and I'm gonna look creepy as fuck if I just go, hey, it's some new guy in town with a camera, and I
would have saw the Laugh Out Lounge hat and accepted you immediately.
There you go.
So there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go.
And this is actually the podcast hat.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I like it.
We got the.
I'm actually going to get a shirt from Connie. You and Connie.
Oh,
yeah, we got some new shirts on the way. We got hats. I think there's even an apron out there somewhere. We have the leggings. As Connie showed you the leggings.
No, but
we've got
like
Roadkill Drums leggings. It's the whole logo. I don't have it on my hat, but it's on everything else around.
Yeah.
That's the big old diamond shaped logo, and it's stretched out over an entire leg.
It's on the badge.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really cool. We'll have to have Connie show you those. Yeah, that badge that's right there. Or
Yeah,
this one. It's on my shirt. Yeah. This one right here.
I like the thing on the back. That's cool.
Oh yeah, the Florida Days thing.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's
good on
what
the
I got on
front,
the
but I like it on the
Yeah,
back
yeah.
because like it does no good to have it on the front.
I
You
like
ain't gonna see
I
it
like the
anyway.
badge on the back too.
Yeah, because you'll never see it on the front. That's that.
A good friend of mine is retired.
I try to draw people away from my face. So I like all the stuff on the front of the shirt,
Yeah.
you know. So
You
that's
can't
their
see it on
first
his.
impression.
You can't see it on that.
his, so we need on his back.
I feel
I
like
know.
of the
I get the
guys,
same thing. I was like, oh.
I feel like of the
shit.
guys on this
You know?
episode, like we've got like the Mr. Beard, we've got Junior, and then we've got the honorable mention.
This is an artist beard.
That's a good one. I give you that. That's a good one right there.
I've been hanging out with comedians a lot lately. Man. I'm shooting my shot here.
Hey, you're good.
That's just way too much maintenance for me. I'm like, if it grows, it grows.
Just let it hang.
Falls out, it falls out.
Just let it hang.
That's what my wife says.
Are we talking about the same thing? Are we talking about the same thing?
Beards, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
it. Yeah.
Where do we go from
In fact,
here?
when we first met, she's like, "Would you ever consider?" I was like, "Nope."
Not shaving it. I said,
And
okay.
she goes, "You didn't even know what I was going to say."
That was the wrong
That's what
button.
happens when you let it hang.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know what
She
that
goes,
was.
"You don't even know what I was going to say," and I was like, "Yeah, trim the beard." I'm like, "Yeah, no."
Now keep it, man.
Yeah.
Look, a good friend of mine, Jeremy. You've met Jeremy.
Oh yeah.
He's retired Marine Corps Special Forces. He freaking badass dude. You'd never know. To look at
Super
him.
intelligent.
Super. He speaks like 8 languages. Crazy. But
He might have to go incognito again.
no. I got some blacked up dates on Jeremy for you. He actually officiated mine and Jane's wedding. But
We got to get him on a podcast.
He had a beard about as long as yours, maybe not quite as long, but pretty damn close. And he grew his hair out too. And just recently he cut it all. He's got like that nice shape, like the whole beard comes down like a solid point.
Okay, it's manicured.
Yeah, very manicured beard now. And I was like, man, my kids are upset. Like Santa's gone. Love you, Jeremy. We're trying to get him to move down here, but
That'd be cool.
Heck yeah.
Well, yeah, with back to the community.
yes, thank you. I was,
Had to
I was
keep
trying to find a way to
straight.
segue back to
Yes, I
that.
knew
Thank
it.
you.
I've been doing it for about 2014. I started getting the community.
Yeah.
And it just kind of grew over the years. And then when I opened my own foundation, Culpepper Cardiac, we just got through doing an event last weekend with the Rocking on the Chain for Autism.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, it was
Unfortunately, I wasn't
amazing.
able to go.
It was an amazing event. But through all of that, and with Brian helping me, we just kind of continued it within last November. he a band canceled on me at the last minute for my benefit, and I didn't know what I was going to do to get somebody to fill in. And I reached out to a bunch of musicians, and they were all like, "We're booked." So one guy's like, "Hey, doesn't your husband sing?" I'm like, "Yeah. Why don't you get Brian to do it?" So he filled in, and I was like, "What are we going to name this band?" And they're like, from the very beginning when we met, I said, "I need somebody that's going to have my back." He says, "I got your six." So whenever they come to it, he says, "I got your six." So that's what he named the band, "Got Your Six." So
Well,
that's
actually,
how
it
that
was one of
happened.
her good friends.
Kind of mentioned it. She told me, Miss
Mentioned
Kelly.
because it can't be no other name
Always,
but that.
always give Kelly the credit.
There you go.
Miss Kelly, rock and roll.
Rock
I
and
Kid.
love
roll,
you, Kelly. And she said, "Yeah, you got your six." So that's how they come up with the "Got Your Six" band.
I've been seeing that posted up around too. I didn't know it was you though.
Well, it's not me; it's our whole band.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah.
I didn't know it was associated with you. Is that a better way of
Yes, sir.
saying it?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
we need
You're
to
good.
talk about getting you guys some pictures and stuff and get you guys
Absolutely,
marketed a little
absolutely.
bit.
I'm all for that.
Yeah, be happy to
Yes,
help you
sir.
with that. But that's fantastic. So that explains the name. I was going to ask about the name too. It is if it was military. I grew up military brat, and I've spent a lot of years working around military people. So I was going to ask if that had anything military. Do you guys have military ties?
I don't personally, but I mean, my stepdad was in the Army. That's
Gotcha.
about all.
Okay.
But I'm just like, I just like the whole concept of it. And I mean, years ago, I was actually in the academy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Okay.
they taught you that the clock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, and facing 12 o'clock, got your six. So I guess if there's any extension to that, that's about all it is.
No, that's fair.
But I believe it. I like it, and I like the meaning of it. So
And with first responders, he brought up, and that's based on my foundation as well as I support first responders.
Yeah.
In my foundation, we actually give out 3 scholarships a year as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This thing's really grown.
Fire, medical, and
fantastic to hear.
EMT. Yeah.
I mean, when you're talking about tying in with the different medical groups out of Tampa, I was like, okay, so this thing's blown up way bigger than where it started.
It has. We've put in one in St. Pete and a couple in Brandon, and it's growing. It's really surprised me, to be honest.
That's the best kind of thing, though, right? Like, to see something that was a passion project turn into something that takes on a life of its own and really fulfills its purpose beyond what you ever imagined it would is such a rewarding feeling. And congratulations.
Thank
first
you.
and foremost. That's a huge accomplishment.
it's all her.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All her.
Thank you.
So kind of carrying that into the future, is there any ambitions we're still reaching for, or any big events coming up that we can be aware of or help?
Well, my
shout
next
out?
big one, I am taking, because we just got through that big event. I am taking a few months off because I need some time with my
completely
family and
understand.
kids,
Yeah,
husband. I need some time.
That's a lot of work.
It
Yeah.
is,
and to have a hair salon on
yes,
top of all
and
that. That's a
I'm
lot.
trying to make some money.
Yeah.
Because that's all. We all do it for charity to raise
And you've
money.
already
but-
got to start planning next year.
Yes, and that's what people doesn't realize. It takes a lot.
Yeah.
So my next big one will be in November for the Culpepper Cardiac Foundation as well. And so I'm just going to, in the meantime, though, I still put out 2 to 3 AEDs a month, plus give out the scholarship.
Yeah.
So it's going to continue to just keep building and staying busy.
Yeah.
I'm hoping one day to get a few more things. I'm going to be training CPR classes at least once a month.
Okay, cool.
To kind of get people knowledge about heart awareness.
Yeah.
That's important too.
Yes.
I've had to perform it once, and it's terrible when you have to, but
Don't even get me started.
But it's happened.
Yeah.
Thing is, a lot of people don't have the knowledge of
Well,
it's to where if something did happen, they have no clue.
Well, a lot of people write it off because it's this thing everybody talks about. You hear it on TV all the time. It's the equivalent to when Bob Barker on Price is Right would say, "Spay and neuter your pets." It's just this same old song and dance you hear all the time. Oh, CPR, and it was just like, whatever. I've seen how they do it on TV. I can figure it out. People write it off, and they don't realize how important it is. And the other thing to that too is coming from an instructor and someone who has performed it as well. No amount of training can train you for the real thing. It can help prepare you for it, but you're
absolutely right about that.
There's no rehearsal.
There is no rehearsal.
Because I've been on 63 of these
And there's no
demonstrations,
second
and I
chance.
still would be nervous today if it happened to me again.
I mean, I don't want to get morbid, but the thing that the training absolutely cannot prepare you for, and I think Mark can attest to this, is when you're doing the compressions and you feel the ribs break.
Yes.
That is
But that's the only way.
Yes, and you have
They
to do
have
that.
to.
If you're not breaking the ribs, you're not
Not
doing
doing
it
it
Well,
right.
it's actually the cartilage. It's the
Correct. You're right.
And
You're
if,
right.
And if you're
But-
not doing it right, then you're really not doing nothing at all.
Yeah, in some cases, you can actually be harming the situation worse.
Yes.
And and AED training is also important. I know a lot of the modern ones, they'll walk you through the whole thing. All you have to do is listen to the prompts. That's it. It
correct.
takes all the thinking out of your hands. But back when I first started it didn't really talk to you. It just beeped, and you had to know what the beeps meant.
Yeah.
There were plenty of cases, none that I was involved in, but there were plenty of cases of people who didn't have the training, didn't know what the beeps meant, or just got flustered in the moment, and they ended up shocking a heart that was in rhythm out of rhythm.
Yeah.
And making the situation way worse. And I've heard those stories. And so I'm glad to see that the technology is evolving. I'm glad to see that it's more accessible thanks to folks like you
Mm-hmm.
and the people developing these things as well. And that's the beautiful thing about things like this too, is that it's always improving. It's always getting better as long as there's people that care. And that's
Yep.
the most important.
And I'm
factor.
hoping one day that I can get my own AED company here. I have, I'm partnered with a company out of Canada and Nashville.
Okay.
They saw my story on Bailey's 9 and they reached out to me last year. So I'm partnered with them right now, but I'm really wanting, my future for me is to actually have an AED company here. I mean, I'm not sure when that'll be, but I'm working on,
I mean,
that's
it'll
my
happen.
goal. That's my goal.
It'll happen.
it could happen next year. Would you be shocked?
I would actually.
That might be slightly poor taste, but I was like, here's a great.
That's good, good,
That was
good.
a good play on words there, buddy.
That's a good one.
But for real, I mean, it's, sometimes it says a numbers thing is not a numbers thing, but I'm, lack of a better choice of words, I'm anxious to see where number 100 is going to be.
Yeah, there you go. There's
Yeah.
a nice goal to have.
Yeah.
Hit the 3 digits. I'm anxious to see where that one's going to land.
Could I
Just-
reserve that one for a cheaper price right now before you market that fucker up for $100 to be the 100?
That's right.
So get in now, cheaper.
Turn this into a business deal. I like
And,
it.
and he's
I'm the one that had the heart attacks.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. Didn't you drive yourself to the hospital while having a heart attack? Can I share that story?
Well, yeah, because we just talked about the Palin thing earlier.
That's true, fair enough.
Well, my first heart attack was at a damn
political
political
social
thing
event.
in
Imagine
Hank
that.
City. They had a Sarah Palin look-alike there, and at the time I was younger and thought she was hot and had a damn heart attack.
Oh.
I mean, I was having one. I was like, I ain't feeling so good. And so I had her secretary with us, took her back to the shop, dropped her off after we came home. It came back to the house and then took her back to the shop, dropped her off, and drove to the hospital. And
And
Yeah.
how old were you then?
40.
40. Oh. I'm just saying, you never know because Culpepper was 41.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and we ain't too
Yeah.
far off on ages.
Yeah. So now
Shit,
that's
I'm
why I'm always
36.
like, everywhere I go, I'm like looking for an AD. I'm like, is there one around? But I carry one in my truck
Good.
and the salon. I have them everywhere.
Good.
So I'm like,
I want to talk
if
to
you
about
need it, I
this.
have it out in the truck.
Well, I don't need it, but
You might.
I do want to talk to you about getting one to put in my car too, because sometimes I'll go to very remote places to do jobs,
Yes.
and it would be really nice to have one in the car.
Yeah,
Never know.
That's why I carry my truck all the events
Yeah.
that I go to. Just like when I met the other gentleman that was at Mardi Gras, you go out there in these big events, there's not an AED around.
Yeah.
So I just like to have it just there, just in case, because if an EMT's
Now-
not that close, you need it.
I don't know if this is something that's already been discussed or if it's already a thing. Just a thought off the top of my head. Do you know if like Polk County sheriffs or local police carry them in their cars at all?
Polk County Sheriff with Grady, he does have them, but
Good.
I have placed them at Polk County. I mean, not Polk County, Lake Hamilton Police
Okay.
Department. They did not. So I actually put one there.
Good.
They needed one in a couple of their police cars, so I did that for them.
Cool.
But that Polk County Sheriff himself, Mr. Grady, he does make sure all of their cars have one.
Good.
We
Yeah.
talk about Grady a lot.
I love Grady.
I mean, he's like the big local celeb, and
Yeah.
Mike and Eric for the Eric and Mike podcast and the Eric and Mike in the morning on Big Mac's morning show. They do a show with Grady Judd like monthly or weekly now. So
Yeah,
I hear about
yeah.
Grady all the time.
Yeah.
I still haven't met the man,
Oh, he's
want to?
amazing.
I
Yeah.
saw, sure.
Well,
I saw
well,
him
you
on
might
All you
wanna
gotta do
meet-
is break the law.
Yeah.
Free rent,
Free
Yeah.
rent.
free house and cut.
Free food. You get
Just-
the,
just-
you,
just
you
a
get the
quick-
great, you get the Grady
Just-
special.
Just a quick thing. I know that the big media thing was the whole,
And you ain't
we
getting
ran
no
out of
new
bullets, that
underwear.
whole thing. But I loved when I moved here 2 years ago. That was when he held up the photo of the lady and she goes, she walked into McDonald's with the Mick attitude.
He's got away with words,
He's
doesn't he?
got-
Away with words. But no, I saw him on the float at Mardi Gras.
Yes.
I saw him up there, but I was like, oh, cool, he's right there. Cool. But I've heard he's really nice. I've heard he's pretty
Yeah,
down
he
to
is.
earth.
He's actually a super cool dude.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So
He is.
Grady
he's,
Judd,
he's a lot of fun.
come on our show sometime.
Yes,
I've heard
we
your
would love you,
publicist is
Grady.
cool with it. Let's do it. But yeah, that's
If
really
you
cool
think
to
you're
hear
gonna
that
get
the
away
police
with
cars
something,
have them too.
don't
come to
Glad to hear
Culpepper.
that.
Yeah. I'll
Usually,
tell you a story.
even when you
'cause-
call for like an ambulance, the cops are, if not the first ones, one of the first ones to arrive on
Yes.
scene. Because it's never the ambulance by themselves. There's always at least one cop car going with them because you never 100% know what the situation is you're walking
Correct.
into.
Yeah.
usually
know
the
that.
fire department first.
Well, fire department's always first, but there's always a cop car coming right behind them. Fire department, I know, has AEDs. I was a shipboard firefighter for cruise lines, and I know that that's part of national training for firefighters is they have AEDs. Same for ambulances for the most part.
Right.
I know there are some areas that are struggling to get them because the ambulance should be able to. I don't know. Anyways, we won't get into all that, but
Politics.
I'm glad to hear that police cars have AEDs in them
Yeah.
too. That's a good thing to hear.
In my opinion, it's if you're able to afford, blah, 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 whatever, all the above, it's better to have it, not need it, than need it and not have it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that just goes for a lot of things in
yeah,
life.
that's a
but
lot.
it's
That's
just,
a
you
good
know,
life mantra.
But
That's
you just
my
never,
opinion.
before this happened to me, I didn't ever think about it either. I mean, that's why I try to get the public awareness about heart awareness because
It's
of
that same slippery slope. Like
Yeah.
it's that belief that, oh, it'll never happen to me.
Right.
You hear about, people who get into these horrific
Mhm.
accidents, like, oh, that would never happen to me. And you'll always think that until it happens to you. And then it's too late.
yes.
That's right. So buy your drums now because you may never get another chance to play it.
Be that skin basher.
We need more room for the podcast.
This is
so-
only a fraction of them. There's a whole bunch more in the house, too.
A heap
Oh
of
my
them.
God.
Oh,
I'm so
huge.
amazed at all the drums you have.
It's an addiction.
Do you
Yes,
have a
I love
favorite
it.
one? Do
It's
you
like,
have a favorite
all
one you
of them.
currently have?
All
See,
of
what
them.
I need is that shocking machine because Connie's going to just strangle me one day. So I'll shock myself back in.
The shocking machine.
They don't
An
call him Mark
AED.
the Skin Basher for nothing.
That's right.
I thought that meant something totally different.
Hey!
I got calluses.
Just beat it.
Oh, okay. Hey, where we going with that? Really?
Oh my God. This is going to be one of those episodes.
You
my wife's
started
gonna
to
hate.
just beat
Hey,
it.
so
I
guess-
did.
Hey,
I know
hey.
I
So
did this to
it's-
me.
But the kid is not my son. See what you started?
You know okay, yeah, all right. You know
Oh, by the way, he thinks he's going to be going on the be a
Oh,
comedian.
I
at
am
Laugh-
so gonna win.
Do it.
on Laugh
I'm
Out
gonna
Loud. He
win.
thinks he's
We're-
going to go up there and do it.
I think.
Oh, let's do it.
All
Do
right.
it.
She goes, "You think you can sing, but you're kind of cool at that, but you ain't no comedian." I'm like, "All right."
Have you seen the new Roast Me Sunday show we're doing?
Uh-uh.
Oh,
So-
come next Sunday.
No, not next
When-
Sunday.
or whenever the
we're
next
doing,
one
we're
is.
doing once a month. So the Roast Me Sunday show is a segmented show where the audience, professional comedians, and our panel, it's all built around insult style comedy. So roasting, making fun of pictures on the internet. You can submit a spouse or a family member or a friend to be brought up
Hey.
on stage to be roasted in front of everybody.
You
It's
will
a
not.
laugh.
You will
Don't.
not.
I won't give anything away because it'll come out probably next week. The first show is about a little less than 2 hours long, and the guest we brought up from the audience shared a story about accidental nipple discharge.
Ay, ay,
That's hilarious.
ay.
Oh my gosh.
Now's the time to hit a button.
I'm like, I don't know which one to hit. Well,
Top corner.
oh, well
No,
that's what caused the discharge.
You lose. Oh God.
Oh,
There you go. That's
There
the more
you go.
appropriate.
That's
one.
the
See,
one.
there you go. I know what I'm talking about. Oh, Jesus.
He knows that one.
There you go. What's the bottom right one
I
again?
hate that one.
What's the bottom one, right?
Oh, it sucks.
After what seemed like an eternity,
There you go.
That's we seriously got it. Okay.
This is built for the
we're
roast
talking
me
about
Sunday
the
show.
same roast me show. You know, we've been doing these. We started with the damn dinner jam, and it was just, you know, I had people over, and it was a way for me to get to play with other musicians because I don't want to be in a damn band, and I'm very novice, so it gives me a chance to play with people who are a lot better than me. And I thought, hell, I can cook. I'll get them here.
You're retired. You want to play and have fun, not play
Yeah.
for work.
Yeah,
So-
but you know what? You're pretty damn good, dog. I heard you play.
Yeah, we just
I'm
heard
getting
it.
there.
Just saying.
But you know, that's what we started with. And Laurel come over to one of those, and he's like, "Yeah, that's fun. Record that." And people started looking at it, and I was like, "I love this editing work and shit." And it's like, okay. Next thing you know, everybody's wanting to come to the dinner jam, and then he goes, "Hey, you want to do a podcast?" Here we go. So we do that, and now I'm like, I don't want to do as much as that stuff. Where was I going?
I
Fuck, I don't either.
Quick, get the AED.
Yeah,
And he was
that
like, "What the
close.
hell's a podcast?"
What the hell? No,
No, that's kind of the gist of-
I hate fucking talking about that because we do it on every damn podcast.
Yeah,
and
people
we
ask us
gotta
a lot
quit
how we got started on this, so he tells the story.
But
a lot,
I really do want to know
No,
that.
no, that's okay.
That
So
and I'm getting fucking old, so
well,
I
let
just
me-
repeat stories.
let me tell
you know?
it from my perspective. This will give us a
Oh,
different
fuck,
perspective of the
no.
whole story. So I was out in Hawaii working as a dive instructor. I met his daughter. We got married. They came out and visited. He goes, "I'm starting my own drum company," and I was like, "Okay, I'm in Hawaii. Like, good for you." And then, so, the white button does the trombone.
I don't like that one.
But
That's got to
so,
be
but it was. I was like, yeah, I used to work for a recording studio in Atlanta. Or I shouldn't say work. I interned at a recording studio in Atlanta and learned a lot about sound engineering. And at one point, I thought I wanted to be a musician or an audio engineer. And then I started getting very dissuaded by a lot of the drama that exists within the politics that exists, especially on the high level. And I was in a pretty high level studio. I got really lucky and really blessed to be trained by some pretty cool people. And my mentor gave me the best advice I ever got. He said, keep what you love for yourself and do something you enjoy for a career.
I disagree.
It's just different life philosophies. So I took that and I said, you know what? I love music. I'm going to keep it for myself. It's just going to be my hobby. It's going to be for me, not for anybody else. And I like scuba diving, so I'm going to make that my career. So I moved up to Hawaii and climbed my way up, became a top ranking instructor, ended up running one of the largest dive shops in the island, one of the coolest dive shops in the island, arguably. It was called Trident Adventures.
Cool.
Shout out to those guys.
You jump out of helicopters.
It's owned by retired Navy SEALs.
Unless you
And
have
it's the
it.
only place in the world
Cool.
you can start your snorkel or scuba dive experience from a helicopter.
Really?
And so,
Unless you've had a heart attack.
yeah. Well,
Fucking technicalities.
right. But so
I
I got
would've
trained
jumped.
as a cast master, which is the person that throws you out of the helicopter. And the owner of the company goes, yeah, here's a whole bunch of GoPros. We're going to strap these to the helicopter. They're going to be on the boat. They're going to be on the dive gear. Here's one for you to hold in your hand. Just start filming our guests. And we started getting some pretty high profile guests. So I was like, all right, cool. And I honed in on the filming and the video work and with just a GoPro. And so much so that my wife was like, happy birthday. I got you your own GoPro so you can do your own things with it too. And it was a lot newer. So it had a lot more cool features to it. And when we decided that raising a family in Hawaii is hard because Hawaii is expensive, and we wanted to come back here to Florida because Jane, she won't admit this to you, but she wanted to come back so she could be closer to family. She wanted to. She thought you guys had too much freedom, and she wanted you to see your grandkids more often. Sorry, honey.
About right.
We came here, and I was still trying to stay in the dive community, but we live in Lakeland. There's not a whole lot of it here. Driving up to the coast is a lot, and the industry is extremely different. I won't try to compare it to anything that either of us do, but it's a completely different dynamic. And while I could make a understandable living in Hawaii full time as a diver, out here it would have been scraping the barrel. Even though the cost of living here is significantly lower, the way the industry is structured doesn't really support the notion of making it a focused career. So Mark invites us over to a dinner jam. He goes, I'm doing this thing with my drum thing. I was like, cool, it sounds like fun. I haven't played music in a while. Let's go have some fun. And we came over, And I think that was that the night? That wasn't the night Steve Didas was here, was it?
No, Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, it
So
may
throw out a
have
name.
been.
I think it might.
There was
No.
one-
It wasn't because I did film the one with Steve.
Yeah,
But the very first one I didn't film.
Really?
Who was the first one? I'd have to look it up.
Man, I'd have to look it up, but we came to it and we just had such a profound, like just like this, just a profound discussion at dinner and had some really good food and we played music and had a lot of fun. I was like,
Well, it's even
we
better
should
because we
video
don't.
this.
It's not recorded.
Right.
You know, there's pictures, there's video, but
Which is one of the
it's
reasons.
not recorded because then we can talk about everything, really get to know each other, and that's what we started it for. Is just chance because everybody sees everybody in the bar. It's like, oh yeah, you play guitar, or you do this, or you do whatever.
Yeah, but the conversation would also mold into this stuff, and I was like, this is a really interesting talking point that I think other people would find fascinating too. And so I was like, let's start filming the dinner jams, and let me bring my GoPro over, and we'll just film some stuff. And he goes, okay, I don't care. Good for you.
That sounds like Mark. Just saying.
Pretty much. And I was like, okay. So I came and I videotaped it and edited it all together into this neat little video. And the first one that we filmed was a drummer's night. We just had the one guest that one night, and we just talked about drums. We talked about one of your Slingerlands or something on there.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah. And they came after me immediately after I put it together and sent it to them. They went, we should do this more often. I went, okay, let's do it more often. And then the conversations at dinner got more in depth. And this is where I think Steve Didas came into it. We had a really good conversation about Steve's journey through music. And I was like, this is a fascinating topic. I was like, what do you think about doing a podcast? And he goes, the fuck's a podcast? I was like, it's exactly this. It's just, everybody's got microphones and headphones and we record the conversation.
And then I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
He's like, well, you just talk. And then
Well-
we did the first one.
Well, hold on.
and then he
hold
didn't
on.
edit half the shit. And I'm like,
Hold on.
I'm just the one that
Hold
sits
on.
here and talks
You,
shit.
you said, what do I have to do? And I was like, just sit there and talk. And you went, oh, I don't want to get into all that. It sounds like too much work. And I was like, just let me try it. And then I sent you some clips of other podcasts, one of the ones that I was watching. And
Kill Tony.
No, this was before the Kill Tony. But I sent you another one that I think it was centered around a bunch of veterans that I've been watching. And you were like, okay, let's give it a try. So I bought this setup that we're using here and a smaller recorder than that one. That was the latest toy. And we did our very first podcast a year ago with Jim and Judy, and I have a shirt that has Jim and Judy on it that says, "Has anybody met Trudy yet?" If you know
That
who
was
Trudy
fun.
is, that was
That
hilarious.
was fun.
Oh.
Yes,
My God, that
a
was fun.
and that was exactly your reaction too. When we finished up that taping, everybody was like, "That was a lot of fun." And I was like, "Just wait till I throw it all together and put it online." We started putting the episodes out online, and
And all I had to do was get drunk, have fun. I'm
talk
like,
shit.
Talk shit. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do this.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
it's just
he
been
goes,
taking
what?
off ever since.
I'm still trying to figure out what it pays.
It doesn't yet. If anybody out there knows how to monetize this stuff, I will gladly learn. Please help me. I'm doing all this for free.
Advertising. stuff.
I know. I don't know how to get in. I don't know how to get into that, but I'm trying to learn. But in the meantime,
Here's
I have
someone who
upgraded our
knows
camera gear.
right here
That's right.
how to get in there.
There you go. We're gonna become best
Yeah,
friends.
I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And I have you do some of that videography. Is that how you say
Yeah,
it?
I just
Videography?
call it film.
Yeah.
Film and photography.
I want you to do all of that for me.
Okay.
The salon and my foundation
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
and the band.
Filmography.
This is recorded.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Now
filming
you're
right now.
committed.
That's my
Well,
my
it depends
baby
on the
up there.
price.
That camera up there's my baby.
Depends on the price.
Ding.
That's that new car sales
I'll work with
sound.
you.
Somebody
Okay.
just
I love the
sold.
foundation, so there's gonna.
Thank you.
I'm gonna absolutely do everything I can to
Yeah.
work with you.
And he has a father-in-law in very dire need of that.
But I will say this, not just because she's my wife and not just because she's my whole world, but I don't know how you can fit all that in 4'11", but she does it.
Well, thank you,
Yeah,
baby.
she does it.
I say,
Thank
She
you.
does,
things
she
come in
does it.
small
She
packages.
makes it look easy. So, but it's
Oh,
not.
not behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes,
Stress.
it's
a lot of stress.
It's big. It's
Oh,
I have no idea how I am perceived externally, but at home sometimes my wife and I are just looking at each other like, go in the other
do
room.
a huge fundraiser, and you'll know. I mean, I did one years ago with the Creek Riders and stuff. We had Main Street blocked off, had poker downtown. It was great. Raised like $25,000 for what's that foundation?
I've done fundraisers, not to that level, but
I don't want to even mention it because
when I was working
they're
for
not paying
the
me.
dive shop out in Hawaii, one of the young like 18,
Bo's saying you're done.
yeah, right.
that was a button.
Right. One of our like 18, 19-year-old deckhands was involved in a horrific motorcycle accident, and he was hospitalized. His bike was trashed, and he wasn't working for us anymore. But he was still a friend of the company. So we organized this huge what are they? It's like a motorcycle ride across the island, but you play poker along the way.
Yeah.
Poker run.
Poker run. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. And we brought the company van and we brought GoPros and filmed the whole thing. And the poker run ended at a beach that's famous for scuba diving. And in the gear van, we had all the dive gear. So you rode up on your bike, parked your bike, threw on a set of dive gear, and we went for a dive with it as well.
Cool.
And that was, for as quickly as that day went by, it was a lot of work putting it together. So I understand.
When was that? How long ago was that?
These
That was
events take months.
Months of the planning.
I mean, months. It's like Mardi Gras. all
Yes,
So not-
months of the
not
planning.
too
And
long.
I can
Not too long
remember
ago.
we had a great committee of
I'll show you a video about it
super
afterwards.
dedicated
Yes, sir.
people, and I can still remember getting in screaming, fighting matches because everybody was so dedicated to the cause and wanting to make it the best we could make it. It gets heated, it gets emotional, especially
Yeah.
when you're working for a cause that means something to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everybody has their own vision of exactly what it looks like. And the slightest deviation from that makes people feel like it's not going to achieve the goal that they think it should. And that when you get a lot of cooks in the kitchen that are passionate.
Oh, there's going to be a
Yeah.
fight.
Oh, I know.
You know,
I
it's-
know.
it gets strong, it gets
the teams that
emotional,
we
and
have-
it's a lot of work.
that I have and that we have with a lot of the events that I'm involved in, we really do have a good group, and we do have some disagreements or whatever, but we pull it together, and it's all about the community too, just the community coming together. And our town right here, Polk County, is one hell of a community.
The mark of good leadership is knowing how
Right.
to
Fucking
handle.
800,000 people trying to move here.
yeah.
We were just talking about that in another episode too. But the mark of true leadership, especially in a situation like that, is the knowledge and the what's the word I'm looking for? The level-headedness in handling a disagreement and making everybody feel okay.
Yeah, you're
about
trying to like mediate and make
Yes.
sure everybody's okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to always be, trying to make this one okay, and you're handling this one. And because I just had it over the weekend.
Well, you can't make everybody happy all the time, but if you can make everybody understand why this is better, or be able to let go of the passion they have on this one little detail,
Yeah.
that's the
But at the
trick.
end of the day,
Oh, fuck it.
we all
Sometimes
pull
you just gotta
together.
piss somebody
You
off.
do. You piss them off. But you know what? At the end of the day, you just all come
Whether it's
together
on
because
purpose
you're
or
there
not,
for the
right?
right reason.
Sometimes people just need a few minutes to
Yeah,
cool off and
yeah.
come back and say this cause.
And
is
then you
bigger
say
than
you're
this
sorry
fight.
sometimes. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to,
Yeah.
lose it for a minute, but I lost it. But you pull it together and
It
you're
happens.
like, hey.
I will say Melanie's got a genuine nucleus of people, that main core,
Good visual.
and
Mhm.
and it's the same people all the time. So obviously they're treated well.
And I
That's
will
the-
tell you
Because they
this.
keep coming
That's
back.
the-
They don't, you know what I mean?
That's the
I'm
gemstone when you
throwing that
have
in
good
there.
people.
Just saying.
Yeah,
And-
no, I'm with you. When you that's the rare thing. That's the special thing. When you have the really
She's
good
got
people that are all on the same plane, that's
And
That's
the
something
ones
special.
that, a lot of the ones that are with me, I met through their loss of their loved ones. I have a couple people that with me that has lost their children, and I did their benefits, and then they become my team because I'm helping them
Because they believe.
Yeah.
because they believe, and it helps through the grief. So they help, and it helps them, and then we all become a family.
yeah.
So several of the people that are on my team have lost loved ones, and we're all just a big group, and we love each other.
Tight knit.
there's-
Tight knit.
Yeah.
My sister's a Make-A-Wish kid.
Mhm.
She's doing fantastic now. But it's amazing how success can bring people together, but nothing brings people together more like hardships.
Mhm.
Right.
And I don't mean to praise hardships. It's
Mm.
not a good thing.
Mm.
I don't wish this kind of thing on anybody. But working with the military people. We worked with a lot of Gold Star families. We worked with, which is like survivors of military personnel that didn't survive and didn't come home, and then people that suffered from Lou Gehrig's disease and things like that. I've worked with lots of people. I had someone who was a paraplegic jump out of the helicopter, and we had to catch them and then float them away back to the boat. But it was their lifelong dream. The doctor said, "Okay, there's not a heart condition, so they can go." So I see the look on Mark's face. He's like, "It wasn't my call. It wasn't my call."
Fucking helicopter, and he wouldn't let me do it. I'm like fucking.
Steve,
I can
if
still
you're watching
fuck,
this,
Steve.
I think you owe him a helicopter jump.
I can jump out of a fucking helicopter.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
Jesus Christ.
I got nothing.
Maybe one day.
They hover like 20 foot. It's not even a big jump. It's like, you know, I used to dive off
I'm
fucking
not
high
jumping.
dives higher than that.
I won't jump.
Oh, come on.
No,
You wouldn't jump out of a
We've had
helicopter
3-year-old kids
No.
jump.
into shark
You would have
infested water
No, you'd have
with
to,
a bunch
you
of
would have to
fucking
push
Green
me.
Berets.
You're what, 4'10",
11.
4'11"?
Give me
I
that
could pick
inch.
you up and drop
Give me
you.
that inch.
Depends on what
Yeah,
7-Eleven
it's one bite. You're good.
we had there's a video out there of this too. We had this one guy who was friends with the owner, and he has 2 kids. I think the daughter was like 6 and the little brother was like 3, almost 4. And the whole car ride out to come with us, he was in the car like, "I'm a badass and I'm gonna jump out of a helicopter. This is awesome." And then we got up there in the helicopter. We're so low, the skids are practically touching the water, and this kid is tears crying. "I don't want to do it." So the Navy SEAL looked at the dad and went, "Can I?" And the dad goes, turns on his phone and starts filming. The SEAL picked him up by the wetsuit and held him out and just went,
I was supposed to go, "Oh, you forgot your parachute."
Yeah, that sounds
You'd have
like
to
my
push me.
dad in the
Yeah.
canoe when I asked how deep the water was.
Find out.
Yeah.
Oops.
Parenthood, there's so many cathartic moments in parenthood.
I know.
Hey.
Just wish we could raise kids
That
the way
makes
we
it fun,
used
right?
to.
Well, you kind of can. You know what I just found out? Because I was going through the footage and stuff from the comedy show. One of the audio clips in the comedy show, it's on a button on there. It's not on this page, so unfortunately can't access it right now. But it's this guy that shouts, "What the fuck?" really loud through the speaker. I'm going through the footage after the Roast Me Sunday show at the house, and I accidentally hit play right as it screams, "What the fuck?" across my TV. So my 3-year-old just got in trouble with my wife for saying, "What the fuck?"
Well, that explains why the button's not on her no more.
Oh, like,
so
exactly.
there you go.
Well, wait till I'm done. It'll be back.
Just make sure you paint it red so you know which one it is.
Oh god!
Say, August, don't push that button.
You,
He's going to go.
You know your grandson. If you tell him don't push it, what do you think he's going to do?
Push it
Yeah,
5 or
see,
6,
I am
7
on to
different
your
times.
game. I know exactly what it is you're doing.
That's your wife.
Your daughter.
His daughter.
Your wife got reincarnated into that little youngin you got. And yeah.
You got
I
reincarnated
already
into your
had,
daughter.
I had to, we had to raise her.
Yeah.
So, he's a spitting image of both of them.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh my God.
He's 3 years old and can hold a drum beat. Full, like, kick, hi-hat, snare, whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you teach drums?
No.
Oh, this one?
Hell, I can't even play
him.
yet.
You've taught him a little
Cut
bit.
it out.
You've taught him a little bit of what he knows. Mark Ferguson's taught him some too. He did take a little bit of drum lessons at Guitar Center with Ryan Zarb. Rest in peace, Ryan. But he's Dan Pepin's taught him a little bit, and
for a second
Bill.
he said,
Bill.
"Fuck it, he ain't ready."
Well, because I love you, Dan. Dan's all about teaching like the techniques.
You
Your grandson
three.
say that?
Teach.
Yeah, and he's 3.
Yeah.
Your
He
grandson
just
said,
wants to
"Fuck
have
it."
fun.
Dan did.
Probably, based on what I'm hearing, he probably
He does now. Obviously, he's been taught by the machine to say "fuck it" or "no, don't say it." So we're going to do this button.
He don't know.
You've got some of the
He don't
cheesiest
know the
fucking buttons
buttons
on
yet.
here. These are for
You've
the fucking
had this
show.
for 3 episodes
I know.
now,
No.
and you still can't figure out between
No,
9
you have
buttons.
never let
One of
me
them's even
touch
labeled
the
a different
buttons.
color. Which one's the white one? What does
The
the
one
white
I
one do?
fucking hate.
Which one is that?
The what?
Da-da-da-da. Oh.
It's a fucking drum shop. There's no.
We'll get it.
You do need that one. I
We'll
get it
should
on
be
there.
number one white right
We'll
there.
get it in there.
Okay, we're going to talk about how we're going to label all these motherfuckers. I'm going to reprogram them next time.
I don't know. This is kind of fun.
It's going to be
It's
fucking
kind of
awesome.
fun watching you go.
Well, I don't need to label them. I just got to program the right ones in there. So
Play
we've
some tic-tac-toe
got
and get it
least
right.
9 cool fucking buttons, just not 3
This is-
cool ones. And
I will
a
have to
few
say though, this is a
mediocres.
really cool setup.
It's a cool.
Isn't this
very,
awesome?
This is
He
really
just
cool
built this.
setup.
Very
I
cool
really like
setup.
it. Yeah.
very cool.
All the
setup.
drums
I'm
in
digging
here
it.
are for sale, by the way.
Oh.
I'm already buying a half drum up inside the house with the spiders hanging off it.
There you go.
And I did everything myself there, Mr. Mason.
Yes, he'd have looked.
There you
Wife
go.
gave me. I'm gonna get a deal.
Maybe.
Well, how about we head inside? We can look at that drum a little bit more and grab another drink.
Absolutely.
Guys,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being out here tonight.
Yeah.
We hope to have you guys on again sometime
Hey.
soon. We'll have to have the
Thank you
band
for
on
having
sometime.
us. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we'll have to have the
No,
band
I
on
Hey, we're
sometime.
gonna get
appreciate
together
you. Absolutely.
and hang out
Yeah,
some more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So
We can do that.
for those of you out there with hair, please check out the beauty
Brownie's Cutting
salon.
Edge.
There we go.
Yeah.
If you need an AED machine,
And those that have hair and do it yourself, you can look like me.
mason work, or got your 6-band, check these guys out.
And
Guys, things-
support Culpepper Cardiac Foundation.
There we go. That's
Saving
what I was-
Lives Matters.
Yep, there we go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, contribute. These things mean a lot more than you ever realize they will until it's too late.
Okay, and for my public announcement, diet is fucking everything. Get the fuck off sugar. Do not eat at McDonald's
true.
or
We-
any other fast
Well,
food restaurant.
We
You
could
should
go.
learn how to
We could
fucking
go on a whole
cook.
nother hour talking
So,
about this. So
yeah.
we're going to end this here
We
because we
gotta
could go
go.
a whole nother hour.
But
on
or
this,
hey,
but
just real quick, like Tim McGraw said, another supper from a sack and a 9-cent heart attack. There you go.
Very fucking good.
Hey.
what an
Hey.
ending line.
There
He
you go.
had one too, obviously.
I'm sure he did. All righty, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Go ahead and press that stop button for me. We'll see you guys next time.
Oh.